Despite coming from a family of villains, Jill Duggar has now been known as a real hero. The Duggar family and their enablers are finally coming under scrutiny after years of abuse and corruption, and it's all because to courageous victims like Jill who had the guts to tell the world their tales. Jill gave a direct and open depiction of her turbulent life in the recent Amazon Prime documentary Shiny Happy People, which she was the only one of her parents' 19 children to participate in. Jill has undoubtedly endured great suffering, as anyone who has followed the Duggar family during their time in the public eye may already be aware of, and now, without further ado, Jill Duggar was sexually assaulted by her oldest brother, Josh Duggar, when she was a little child. The fact that her father, Bob Duggar, assisted Josh in covering up his crimes and avoiding capture added to the agony of that incident. Josh was able to continue his sexual assaults as a result, and Jill was left to face the realization that her father could not be relied upon to protect her. Josh harmed Jill before her family became well known, so Bob was already keeping the dirtiest of secrets from the TLC film cameras when he decided to let them into his house. When his predatory background was ultimately exposed in 2015, he was fired from that position. We had no idea that was simply the tip of the iceberg at the time. Josh is currently completing a 151-month federal prison term after being found guilty of child pornography. Jill already had severed relations with her family at the time of Josh's detention and trial, but she continues to be subjected to relentless public scrutiny as a result of the largest scandal in reality television history. Jill made the decision to go in front of the controversy and work as an advocate for victims' rights rather than wallow in the sorrow and try to escape from it like most of her siblings. All three of Jill Duggar's children are sons. After being married in June 2014, Jill and Derek Dillard immediately started planning a family in accordance with the Duggars' principles. Jill announced her pregnancy in August of the same year. On April 6, 2015, Israel David Dillard was born, and for a while, it appeared like Jill and Derek intended to continue the Duggar tradition of producing a sizable number of children, but now the couple has become used to a more sensible pace. After 40 hours of labor, Samuel Scott Dillard was delivered by emergency C-section on July 8, 2017. Jill confessed during her participation in Shiny Happy People that her father pushed her to give birth in front of the camera. Additionally, she claimed that she never received payment for the special episode that was produced using that video. Jill and Derek claim that one of the many reasons they are no longer friendly with Bob is the lack of payment for their years of labor as reality stars. The estimated value of Jill Duggar's net worth is $400,000. She claims to have never received anything for her TLC appearances, and she also claims to have been paid nothing for her damning Shiny Happy People interview. So from where does all that cash come? Jill has 1.8 million Instagram followers and has made money there by signing multiple sponsored content contracts. Jill has proven to be pretty skilled at making money on Instagram. Whether she's peddling a home Bible study course or posing in modest bikinis for fundamentalist women, she's making money in other ways as well, not just that one. In January 2024, Jill is set to publish her first book, which is expected to be even more controversial than her sister Jinger's most recent account. The specifics of Jill's publication agreement are unknown to us, and we won't learn how well her book will sell until the following year. Jill Duggar, who is 32 years old, was born on May 17, 1991. It goes without saying that she has done and experienced a lot in her young life. However, Jill has chosen to stay quite close to home, unlike some people who may have been motivated by such prior trauma to put a lot of distance between themselves and the place where they grew up. The majority of Jill Duggar's life was spent in Tontitown, Arkansas. However, in June 2022, she and her family moved to the neighborhood of Siloam Springs. They relocated in order for Derek to accept a position as a prosecutor in Oklahoma, which is only across the border. She probably doesn't, though, although Jill Duggar has cut ties with several members of her contentious family. She still speaks with a number of them frequently. Jill and her similarly rebellious cousin Amy Duggar have remained close, and it seems that their bond has grown with time. According to insiders, Jill and her sister Jinger Duggar, who currently resides in Los Angeles with her husband Jeremy Vualo, have a particularly tight relationship. Jill doesn't seem to have much time for the majority of her other siblings. So that leaves her other brothers and sisters. Who could blame her, though? While Jill Duggar and several of her siblings have remained close, it appears that she has little to no contact with her parents. Of course, Derek's dislike of his father-in-law might have been motivated by factors other than money. After all, Josh sexually assaulted Jill and 4 other young girls while Bob chose to remain silent. In addition, he went out of his way to shield his son from punishment, which made him indirectly responsible for the numerous offenses Josh committed in the years that followed. Heck, if Derek didn't despise his father-in-law, we may be concerned. Despite the appalling amount of cruelty and maltreatment Jill Duggar has experienced over the years, she appears to be coping quite well. Jill has been through a lot more than anyone should have to, but she continuously finds ways to make the bad things work for her. She is now widely considered as her family's most sympathetic member. Jill is overcoming her oppressors by leading a fulfilling life and refusing to give in, even though she doesn't appear to be interested in seeking retribution.